Hello students, today we will start with loops in Python. Now what is a loop? As discussed earlier, loop is one of the control statements, and what can it do? It can repeat some statements finite number of times. Now how it will do? It will be done. Here, if I ask you to print hello, there will be a very small code as shown on the slide, print hello. Now if I ask you to do the same work for 5 times, in a normal way of doing it, I will simply write this print statement 5 times, one after the other, and it will be executed. But if I ask you to do the same work 50 times, it will become difficult for me. I cannot write it again and again for 50 times. That will be too lengthy. So what I need something that and every time I have to do the same work, print hello. So I need something which will repeat this statement again and again till I want it to be repeated for a finite number of times. Now if we do that work manually by our hand, I ask you to write 5 times hello in your notebook. What you will do? You will write it once and you will count 1. Correct? And then you will write it again and then you will count 2. Same work we are going to do here in loop. So from where we start the counting? We start the counting from 1. So here also we will count 1 and then we will print hello. Now I have to do it again till I have reached 5 because I need to print it 5 times. For that I will have a condition count less than 6, as I am starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should be less than 6. Now when you will doing it manually, you will write it, you will count 1, you will do it again, you will count 2. So in process of counting, you will be incrementing it by 1 every time. Here also we need same type of statement, count equals to count plus 1. But still I need something that will take this work back again. Right now the format of execution is same from top to bottom. What I need that from after doing this count equals to count plus 1, it should go back, it should check the condition, and then it should do the work again till the condition is true. That means as soon as the value of count will become 6, it should stop. That type of work will be done by loop or iteration statement. Just see once again what all we need. We need an initial value from where we will start the work. We need a final value till where we will do the work. And we need to keep updating that okay, I have done 1 time, then 2 times, then 3 times, or whatever number I am doing it. Okay. Now here if you can see, I am using a variable count for doing that. This type of variable is known as a counter variable. What do we call it? We call it a counter variable, which will keep the track of the loop, which will control the loop, that how many times it has been done, how the updation should be done, and at what value we should stop. In the particular code I have given you, the example, the counter is count. So what all we need here? We need a iteration or a loop statement. In Python we have 2, for and while. We will discuss afterwards. We need an initial value, we need a final value, and we need a update value. Now that update value can be a increment, can be a decrement, or if I am using a group of values, a list of values, it can be moving ahead with the new value. That you will understand when we will discuss it further. Now in Python, to make a loop, we have following things which we need. We have 2 loop statements, one is for, one is while. Both of them can be used for iteration or repetition. Then we have value providers, which will give us value to run the loop, to count, to move ahead. One is list format and the other is range function. How do they work? We will understand afterwards. And then to access the value from these two value provider, we have a in operator. All these things are used in different combinations to execute a loop in Python. First of all, let us understand what is list. It's a value provider and it's a collection of values. In Python, it is written with square brackets. This is the syntax. You have to simply give a name to your list and then you have to give the value separated by commas without any space. Here are some examples. Fruit, a list by the name fruit is made here and I have given some fruit names apple, banana, cherry. As they are string constants, I have enclosed them in double quotation marks. I have another list here, even list, which contains even numbers starting from 2 to 10. So this type of list we can use to make our loop repeat the things. Then we have range function. Range, name itself tells us that it will work on a continuous values or a range of values. We can generate a sequence of number using range function. The syntax is start value, stop value and step value. What are they? Start value or the initial or the first value. Stop value, last value. It is always excluded from the loop. I will make you understand that. And step value, update value. Now you can make the relationship between a range and a loop. I told you that to run a loop, we need a initial value, we need a condition or the final value, and we need to update the value. And all the three things are being provided here. But range function can be used in different patterns. What are they? Suppose I have given range 10. So what it will do, it will generate from numbers from 0 to 9. Here I have written last value excluded from loop. It means if I have given 10, 10 will not come as the value. It will only work till 9 as it is starting from 0. Now if I am giving range 1, 10, 1 will work as the initial value and 10 will work as the last value. Again it will be excluded, so it will generate 1 to 9. If I give all the three things, range, initial value, final value and the step value, then how it will work? It will start with the initial value 1. It will update the value by the step value. So here it is 2, so it will give me 3. Then 5, then 7, then 9 because 10 is the last value. This way we will get some values to make the loop repeat. Now to access both of them, the list and the range function, we need an operator which will pick the value from these two value providers or group of values. What does an operator do? It actually checks whether the value exists in the group or not. And if the value does not exist, it will give me a false. That means it works as a logical operator. The answer will be true or false. How it is used? It is used like this. Value in values. Variable in values. So whatever value the variable is having, that will be checked whether it exists in these values or not. If it does not exist here, it will give false and the loop will stop. If I am using only an operator without any loop statement, here see, I have given x equals to 4 and then I am checking in this group x in 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has given me true because 4 exists there. Then I change the value x equals to 6 and then it is checking x in 2, 3, 4, 5. But there is no 6 over here, so it will give me false. Now how this range, list, in operator will be used with loop statements. The first loop statement I have for. For loop is used for iterating over a sequence, over a sequence of value. That value can be from a list, from a group of values, it can be a string, the characters of a string, it can work like that. The syntax will be for variable in set of values or list. Now this set of values can be given by range function and the list, and in operator will be used there, and for these two are the keywords. Whatever statements, and colon is must here, whatever statements are written with the indentation, we have already discussed in decision making statements, they will be repeated till this in operator is giving us a true. Okay, now you understand it. We have already discussed. In operator will give us true if the value of this variable exists in this set. Otherwise, it will give us false and the loop will stop. How does it work? For each item in sequence, if the item exists there, it will check whether we have reached the last item or item is there. If we have reached the last item and it is true, it will exit the loop. Otherwise, it will go back. Whatever statement are written, it will repeat them. It will come back and it will update the value. It will move to the next value. Let us see some example here. This is for statement using list. Here I am having a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and I am saying for x in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, print x. So the very first value x will take 1. Then it will print it. It will go back. It will take the next value 2. It will print it. It will do so till 6. It will go back. After 6, the value will become 7 and it will not be there. It will be self-incremented. The for has this quality that the value is self-incremented. So here is the output. It will print all the numbers from the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if we are using range, for the same type of output where we are printing values from 1 to 6 using range, I have to write for x in range 1, 7. Why 7? Because I already told you that the last value given in range is excluded. Now here I have not given any step value because by default the step value is 1. So it will again print the same output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we will see range function with step, how it will work. Here you can see that I have a program to print even numbers from 2 to 10. Now what are even numbers? Even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, like this it keeps on going, which are divisible by 2. So the gap between two number is 2. By default the step value is 1, but here we need to change it to 2. So what type of loop I have used? For x in range 2, 11, 2. This is the initial value because we have to start printing from 2. Then we have to go till 10. So the last value I have taken one more, that is 11. And I have to increase the value by 2 each time. So I have taken the step value as 2. And then I am printing the values generated. Now let us see the output. What values are generated? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this way you can change the step value and get the desired output. Now another concept is accumulator variable, which is used with loops only. Here is an example, program to add numbers from 1 to 10. Now when I will have an example like this, programs to add numbers from 1 to 10, what I need to do? I need to generate the numbers first, 1, 2, 3, 4, which can be done by a loop, you have already seen. Then every time a new number is generated, I have to add it to get the sum of all the numbers. So you can see first number is generated, I have added to a variable, say sum. Then a second number is generated, I will add it to the same variable which is already having the first one. So it will add first number and second number and it will have the sum in the variable sum. This way it will go on. Let us see how it works. Here I have taken sum equals to 0. This sum will work as an accumulator variable. What is an accumulator variable? A variable which is used to calculate sum or product of a series of numbers. It accumulates the value in itself, gathers the value in itself. Then I need the numbers from 1 to 10. So I have a loop for function here for x in range 1, 11. I am printing the numbers. So one by one all the numbers will be printed. And then I am adding each generated number into the accumulator variable sum. This all is happening in the loop. As you can see, these two statements are inside the loop, indented. And then after coming out of the loop, the sum is printed. Let us see more elaborately how it works. Here I am having the value of sum as 0. Then because of the x, number 1 will be generated and it will be added to sum and stored in sum itself. We have sum equals to sum plus x. So 0 plus 1 will become 1. Then again 2 will be generated, it will be printed here. You can see in the output numbers are printed, and then 2 will be again added to sum. So the initial value, the previous value was 1, so it will be 1 plus 2, that is 3. Then number 3 will be generated, it will be printed here. Then again it will be sum equals to sum plus x. Now the previous value was 3, so it will become 3 plus 3, that is 6. Then 4 will be generated, 6 plus 4, 10. Then 5 will be generated, 10 plus 5, 15. This will go on till 10. Okay. So in the last, when all the numbers from 1 to 10 are being added together, the final value of sum will become 55. And the next value generated for x will be 11. But it is out of the range. It is the last value. It should not be included. So the loop will be terminated here, and they will come out, the control will come out to the print statement, which is out of the loop. What it is doing, it is displaying sum equals to the message and the value of the variable sum. So here we will get the message sum equals to 55. So in this particular example, which one is the accumulator variable? Sum is the accumulator variable here. This way it works, and we can get, if we will put a multiplication sign here instead of addition, we will get the product of all the numbers. But in that case, the initial value should be 1. Otherwise, the answer will be 0. This way we can get the addition or the product of a range of numbers. Now next loop statement is while statement. It is doing the same work. It will keep on repeating the steps till a condition is true. Which condition? Which is given here in the syntax. So what does it do? A while loop is used for repeating statement till the condition is true. It is also known as entry control loop, because condition is checked in the very first place only. Though the syntax shown here is while condition body of while, and till the condition is true, it will keep on repeating. But to make this condition true at the time of entry, we need some initial value, and to continue the loop, we need some update value also. Okay. So actual way it is being used is this one. Initial value and update value should be provided. So here variable will be initialized. It will be given an initial value. Then the syntax will come in while condition body of while, and then we need to update the variable within the loop only. Otherwise it will not go to the next value if we are working on the counting basis here. Okay, we are not using list or range here. Let us see. Same program it is to display from numbers from 1 to 6. You have seen how I did it for loop with list and range. But in while it is something else. First we need to initialize I equals to 1. Then the condition will be I less than 6, because we have to go till I less than 7, because we have to go till 6. Then print I, and then increase the value. So in the beginning, the value of I will become 1. It is less than 7. It will be printed, and then it will become 2. Again 2 is less than 7. It will be printed, and then it will become 3. This will keep on. Say we have reached 5. 5 has been printed. Then it will become 6. 6 is less than 7. It will be printed. It will become 7. 7 is not less than 7. So the condition has become false, and the loop will stop. So here is the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This way we can use while loop for counting number of repetitions. Now next topic is nested loop. As I told you in decision making that nested means one inside the other. So here if it is nested loop, it will be one loop inside another loop. Okay. The way to write it is similar to the if statement that we did in previous video. First for loop will come here, then indented for it. That means this second loop is inside the outer loop. Here I have marked it as the outer loop, and here I have marked it as the inner loop. The inner loop should end first, and outer loop should end last. Then whatever work you want to do in this for loop, the inner one, you can put the statements here. We will better understand it with the example. Here is the example. I have taken two lists. One is color. Two items are there, black and white. And I have taken another list shape. It has three shape, dots, square, star. Then I am using first loop X in color. First I am using it for color. So there are 2 items. So this loop will work for 2 times. One for black and one for white. Then I have a loop inside it, that is Y in shape. Now its shapes are 3, so it will work 3 times. And what it is printing? It is printing XY. Now how many times this print statement will execute? 2 into 3, that is 6 times. Let us see how it will work. When the outer loop will start, the value for X in color will take the black color. The value of X will become black. Then it will get inside inner loop. Here Y in shape. Now Y in shape will have first dots, then square, and then star one by one. First time it will execute, it will take dots. Second time it will execute, it will take square. And third time it will execute, it will take star. And we are printing XY. So from here you can make out, first it will print black dots. Here it is. Then it will print black square. Here it is. Then it will print black star. Here it is. Okay. So what it is doing? For the outer loop, it is completing the inner loop. Then when the inner loop values are over, after star we don't have any value, it will come out of the inner loop. But outer loop still have one more value, that is white. So it will take next value X equals to white. Then it will again enter the inner loop. Now again inner loop will take all the 3 values of the list, that is dots, square and star. And again it will print XY, so it will print white dots, white square, white star. So what is happening here? Inner loop is executed again and again for the outer loop. So if inner loop is doing the work 3 times, that is shape 1, that 3 time repetition will be done 2 times for each color here in this example. Okay. So this is an example of nested loop. I hope you understood it, and I hope you can write your loop programs now. Practice it. All the best. Thank you.